Or you could just Google random number between 1 and 23, and I bet it would work.
I don't know if I care for Matt's condescending tone right there.
You should have let him watch Whiplash, and maybe you wouldn't have such a condescending tone.
I told him we could watch it anyway.
Matt's a
He
man of
got stubborn.
principle.
It wasn't me.
It was a
He got stubborn.
Matt was just standing by his principles.
That's right.
And I support that.
I'm a rule follower.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club podcast. My name is Mike Hilty. We hope you enjoyed today's movie discussion. Thanks for listening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club. My name is Tim Larson to discuss some movies with friends and family here. We are on movie number 226. This is Hilty's pick, and it is 1997's foreign film from Italy. At least they speak Italian. I'm pretty sure it was shot in Italy. This is Life is Beautiful. Hilty, the show is yours. Take it away.
Cool. Let's go around the horn. Got some questions prepped and ready to go. And since Malo has seen it already, well, who else has seen it? Okay, so
I watched it this week.
Oh, cool.
Helpful.
Help.
As
Okay.
always.
I didn't watch it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm assuming you watched it on 1.5 times speed. Wilden, have you ever heard of this movie?
No, I hadn't.
Okay.
That came up. I could see. Did you guys just? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do what you're doing. Never mind.
No. Go ahead, Tim.
Did you guys have trouble keeping up reading? Like it went so fast.
He speaks a million miles an hour.
He is a hyperactive
Unbelievable
person.
I was thinking of
Okay,
Wilden the whole time, going, "Is he going to watch this on halftime speed?"
Question for everybody following that. Did everybody watch it with like English subtitles and the Italian version, or did you watch with the English dub over it?
I didn't have an option for an English dub.
Yeah.
I'm anti-dub.
So when what'd you say, Melo?
I said I'm anti-dub.
Oh, yeah, I normally would have liked to watched it in its original language with the subtitles, but I did not sleep well the night before, and so I like dragged through work all day yesterday and was just struggling, and that was the only time I was going to get to watch the movie was last night. So I was like, I don't have the energy to read that much, so I'm gonna just. So it came up when I rented it. It came up as the English dub, and I just didn't go through the effort to change it. And as heavy as this movie can be, um, I couldn't help but laugh at least for a good portion of the beginning of it because the accents that these actors use, especially the main guy, especially Guido, is like it's English but with an accent that's like almost offensively Italian.
Yeah.
Like aggressively Italian accent. He's always talking like this and everything. He says is like he says that the entire movie is that. And so it's a little hard to take seriously until it gets to the point where you kind of have to take it seriously. But yeah, but then the other thing was like everything he was saying is like the voice actor, the dub over. I think the captions were original to translate. Like the captions and what he was saying as the English dub were two different things. His captions were still on, so that made it a little difficult for a while.
Yeah, I can imagine that for sure.
Anyway.
So Malo, I will lead off with you since you've seen it and you spoke its praises last week. I'm wondering, does it hold up? And what'd you think upon rewatch?
Okay, cool. I thought you were gonna go the other way. I thought I was gonna go last because of that.
Sorry, I can go the other way instead.
No, I don't mind.
Tim, would you mind going? No? Cool. All right, fine.
Yeah, so seen it many times. I paid $4 instead of going to my garage and getting the DVD and finding the old DVD player, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. So yeah, I paid $4. the I guess so I'll just go through the notes. I don't know that I ever made the connection specifically, but the first thing I wrote was that he was kind of like an Italian Woody Allen a little bit with the wit, where um, she lands on him and she's like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "I've never been better." And then he's spitting out the poison and like little one-liners in between all of that stuff. Um, I put the hiccup thing could have been really bad because it barely ever kept up. But anyway, I forgot that she got onto the train voluntarily. So obviously that's half the movie, and I had like no notes. I was just enjoying the cleverness and the unrealistic serendipity of all of it, but it just worked. It was just so fun, like everything from the key to the hat, the eggs, all that stuff. um I wrote it was almost exactly the halfway point in the movie where the love story is over, and it's now, I mean, I guess it's never over, but definitely under different circumstances.
It is definitely a tale of two halves of
Yeah.
a movie.
So if you guys remember, I talked about it last time where, it like got me out of nowhere when I was showing it to students. And it absolutely just crushed me again. So as far as holding up, this part definitely does win. When the kid chimes in on the mic, just wrecks me. And I think it's thought about it a little bit more because of this, just the way it's filmed, where like you see what he's about to do, and so you're kind of prepped for it or whatever. And then when it shifts to her point of view and hearing that, and especially the scene that precedes that, where all the kids are gone and they're going through the clothes and all of that stuff, and then you hear the kid's voice, man, just like absolutely kills me. Um, Ultimately, I guess in a good way, but like very, very, uh, I don't know, emotional. Um, I put messed up scene with the riddle guy. Um, I still thought that he should have asked him, like played that, like you know what? I don't know yet, but hey, if you help me and my wife and my kid to get out of here, I'll solve this for you, or I'll work with you, or like he just. And I understand, that it was a moment of realization that that guy doesn't get it in any way, and so it feels kind of hopeless. But I still felt like it was worth an attempt.
Mhm.
The one scene that really stood out to me more than ever, because it's really kind of quick, even though they lead off the first 20 seconds or so of the movie with that scene, the dream scene, where they're done with the dinner and the kid was with all the other kids, and they're walking, and then the kid's asleep, and he comes up to that wall of victims. Oh, there's the dog. Good. um
Mm.
been totally quiet up until now, even though the kids next door have been dicking around with a golf cart. Anyway, um they show that scene, and there's clearly it's not a realistic moment, and then they just move on. Like, I don't know, I maybe I'm not smart enough to fully grasp what they were going for there. I mean, I think I get it, but I'm a little confused as to why they chose that way. um I like that they still keep some of the humor, gallows humor, whatever, when he's saying goodbye to Bartolomeo and he's like, "We'll start an anvil factory." Genius. Um, Let me see. Oh, I wrote, "Sucks to think that if he stayed on his side, they might all be together." Um, at the very last thing I wrote, or two things, I said that going to be an awkward conversation with Joshua when, uh, you know, but ultimately very good.
Mhm.
And then this is what is not about the movie specifically. It's just, I hate that they auto skip credits and move on. Like, you watch any show and there's the credits and they give you an option how to skip them, or the opening sequence, and you can skip it. Great. I like watching those. James hates it. So by default, we skip those every time.
Mm.
That's how that works. But I also like ending credits, and the fact that it just skips and move on to some commercial or some other show or whatever, instead of giving me the option to choose bothers me. Anyway, clearly not related to that's since Aaron couldn't be here, I had to make some, just off comment take.
What
But
what streaming service did you
that was Amazon.
Amazon? Yeah, fuck
Mhm.
Amazon for not giving you the option to skip. So
Yeah.
I fully support you in your, in disgust for that. So cool. Good.
For me, it's like I don't have time to like maybe I don't want to watch the thing that they're gonna skip to, and I want to, and suddenly like it'll start that thing, and then it's stuck on my keep watching menu just there for a while, and that bugs me.
I 100% don't want to watch whatever they're going to send me to, but I
Yeah,
may want to watch the credits. And the fact that I have to like find the remote and go like specifically do that, I don't like. But
right.
anyway, as far as the film itself, I think it holds up 100%. I never really watched it with, I guess, a critical eye until this time. And so there's a few things that, just some of how it's filmed or I don't know, like it's not necessarily realistic, like certain parts or but so much of it they set the tone early, and I always talk about this about being consistent in the world they created. And I think this 100% is consistent in the world they created. That all these clever things keep happening, and they're able to, and then later, uh, it just works out where he's very, very clever and very witty. And the whole first half is him using that to pursue a woman that he's interested in. And then later it's a very similar type of thing, but with much more serious consequences that he's able to continue to do to protect his family and son, most importantly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I will forever love this movie.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good stuff, Melo. Appreciate that. Can you remind us again, why did you show this to your high school or to your class again?
So
Because I don't.
sophomore English,
Mm-hmm,
we were required to go through a Holocaust unit.
mm-hmm,
And so we read um, All But My Life.
mm-hmm.
Oh, darn it. I can't remember her name. Anyway, a historical account, biographical of a Holocaust victim.
Mm-hmm.
And so there wasn't really a movie that went with that. And so I would show this kind of as a end of the unit type of deal.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so one of the questions I had here was specifically about Dora, because kind of like you, it had been a while since I've seen this, but I've seen this a bunch of times, and the part where she gets on the train, that's one of those parts that always gets me as well, because the lengths that people will go to in order to stay with their family, um and also for someone that's just as committed, especially considering that she originally, when she met Guido, she was like, no, no thank you, this is all good. But I guess I'm kind of curious from your perspective about just any other scenes from Dora that stood out. And do you think that Guido, because you mentioned the Woody Allen angle as well, do you think Guido should have like taken the hint at some point, or is there something about his persistence that was a little charming, or did you find it a little annoying at times?
No, I actually, so
A lot of
she
questions
was
there.
the
Sorry,
one. No, no, no,
sorry.
it's fine. So, because actually, she's the one that I think of the most when I talk about like a critical eye. There's some moments where I see some overacting kind of thing. Like she's just not the strongest throughout. There's a lot of moments that I think are great though, and they're more subtle. And so I actually didn't get that she was full on no thanks with him. I thought I got a lot more. Well, this is interesting. not like, yeah, I mean, he's him. It's not,
Right.
it's going to take some work. You got to show some other skills, kind of thing, I guess. And he does. So shit. Now I think I lost the other question, but basically, I that part felt pretty good. I was actually the one thing I really did like was where she's like, "Take me out of here." Like that was a really cool scene under the table, kind of thing. And then when the moment comes, she's like, "Oh shit, I actually have to make this choice." And I didn't expect right down the middle of the dinner with a green horse that for that to be the choice. But then she says, I absolutely love the way they filmed that, where he's trying to get the door open and she goes into the other, like the greenhouse thing, and then they just, it's 5 years later, 6 years later, whatever it is.
Baby
like
makes
that.
3.
Yeah, I absolutely love the way they did that. I don't know if that answers all the questions fully, but there you go.
Well, I'll open it up to anybody. Just any thoughts about Dora as a character, and then even just the courtship in general. Any thoughts about that?
Melo, as a single man at the beginning, when he says, "Hey, like we ran into each other randomly here during the day in passing, maybe I'll see you for dinner tonight." And when she says, "I think it's better this way," that's a pretty strong hint to
Okay.
maybe back off. At least that's how I would take that.
Larsons don't take hints like that. I'll tell you that. I've never had a problem breaking ice, but I've also never, the first time I met a girl, tried starting to suck on her thigh. I've never even thought about trying that, and I'm watching this like opportunity missed, I guess.
We're not Italian, Tim. That's why it doesn't work.
Can't pull it off. Yeah. Elisa Mobile.
Well, yeah, and that's why it works a lot better for Guido than it would for us when he like walks her home and then goes, "Gosh, I just really like to make love to you." Like, wait, what?
I would never say that though, but
yeah,
there's an American version of that,
like,
and sometimes it works.
Sweet, but like, okay.
Tim, you care to share? What's the American version of that?
It's very direct, and it offers certain interest in carnal knowledge, and it's not 100% ineffective. I'll just say that.
You still haven't shared it, so like, what's up, man?
Google it.
Being recorded. Let me remind you, this is being recorded.
Google it. Okay.
Google it. It'll be fine.
Tim's secret weapon to try to. Okay, cool. I will make sure to do that.
But more direct to your question, though, I don't find the pursuit or the courtship annoying at all. If you can accept his character, then you can accept the courtship. I like the Woody Allen reference, Melo. I was thinking sort of Charlie Chaplin-ish. If you put those two together, you got this guy with a little Italian flair on it, and he's just a clown, and he's playing the clown game, and he's playing a long game with the clown game, and all you need is a open florist shop, and sooner or later it works out.
Yep, more or less.
You know what else? I don't know if anybody else had this at all, but later, just the smiling and that a little Sam Rockwell popped in there for me too. Like I think if they did a remake or something like that, he could pull something like that off. But anyway,
well, that actually is another question that I did have about this. Is that so? This is a movie. This is made in Italy, and film standards and different things like that are different all around the world. Do you think the U.S. could pull off a remake of a movie like this?
I'm an optimist, so I'll say yes, but I don't want them to.
Yeah. Well, no, of course not. Did we need a remake of Friday the 13th or anything? Well, no, absolutely not. But
Footloose.
I mean, that's your perspective, Tim. But but you're absolutely right.
I'm also on the record for that.
Yeah, that's fair. I fully support you on that. Because I kind of struggle a little bit with that question because there's so many things in here that are uniquely Italian. And then one question that's going to come up eventually is the comedy of it, and is the US in a position to like stomach something like this that's comedic about such a heavy subject as well? Which s- sometimes it can, but it's also been because that's what's so controversial about this movie is that it's kind of making light of some things during the Holocaust, even though it's not doing that. It's just telling a different like telling a story from like a different angle. So
Yeah.
um so like honestly, I'm kind of in Melo's camp. I don't want a remake of this, and I don't think the US could pull it off in the same way. Also because they there is something about the country that this takes place in and everything that happened in it, that kind of just makes it a little bit more authentic. And I don't think the US could pull that off. But that's just me.
Benini's dad was in a camp.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
agreed. Just quick counterpoint to the nature of this being an American movie. Jojo Rabbit did pretty good here, and they made a lot of light comedy about this, but they kind of stayed light comedy the whole time. They didn't try to make a serious point, which this movie does.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Those shoes, that scene is
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, there were
And Sam
moments.
Rockwell.
Yeah,
Just saying.
and Sam Rockwell.
And Sam Rockwell. True. Tim, since you've seen this as
Mhm.
well, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, so I've only seen it once before, and it was maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And so there's not that much time in between for me to judge the impact. If you asked Milo that question, um, I really think the thing that just floors me and kills me about this is the extent that a dad would go to try to shelter the kid from the horror around him, and reminds me of what we watched in Room, where she was very protective of her son and trying to make it a game and a lighthearted thing. Um, Real similar in theme to that another horrible situation. Um, I don't know. I mean, there's most of the time he's talking to his son. You're kind of like, well, how's he going to spin this? And then you're also like, you enjoy the comedy, but in the back of your head, you're thinking, God, he's working. He's tired. He was falling down from picking up, but why he keeps picking up anvils? It's kind of cartoonish. Like I'm waiting for Tom and Jerry to come around the corner, but like it's emotional for me because he's doing a comedy thing that's lighthearted. I should laugh at. Yet he's exhausted and doesn't really have the energy to do it, but he doesn't need the energy. You can tell it comes from a different space inside him. That this is the most important thing in his life right now is to keep his kid protected from the situation he's in. Even when he knows he's walking to his death, he's doing the goofy walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is the real treasure of this movie is the protection of this young kid. Yeah, when Dora gets on the train, um, that one's pretty tough too. But thinking about she gets on the train for two reasons. One, hey, my team's on the train. I'm going on the train. That's the obvious. But also, they did a nice job of keeping her mother out of the story pretty much. You get her in the beginning, like they get out of bed, you're going to this party, and then she's kind of out of it as they are starting their life out together. And then you find out that she was kind of kept out of it because she shows up like, Joshua doesn't even know who she is. And it's that day that they've been, taken to put on the train. She doesn't like her own family, like she's keeping a distance from them. So if Guido and Joshua like get on the train and she has to go back to something else, it's not a life she wants. So it's not just that my team's on the train, it's also I really don't like anything behind me either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that makes that a real easy decision for her, even though the road is hard. And I'm glad that she gets on that truck, and I'm glad it's the one truck that made it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a quick, weird ending to a movie. You don't get like we would get in an American movie with the drama, but I kind of like that though. I kind of like that. Hey, this is all you need to see, and here's the music, and we're gonna do a big hug, and credits, which Melo may or may not be able to watch.
Mhm.
Um, I also will say that this reminds me of another movie, the classic. I think her character, Dora's character, was kind of ripped off from the classic movie Prince Under the Cherry Moon. Um, the female lead character in that movie was very similar to Dora in that she wasn't supposed to go out with the low life. She had a life planned out in front of her, and the shenanigans of the low life main character win her over. And it's clear and obvious if you've seen those two movies. It's the parallel is sparklingly clear. Um, I tried to look up the Hilty numbers, and the the budget is in some Italian. I don't know if it's euros or whatever, but it says 15 billion, and then it's got a symbol that's an E that I would assume is a euro, and then it made $230 million as a gross, which is nowhere near what 15 billion euro would have been. So from what I saw and trying to do my own conversion, it's a giant loss, but I don't think those are euros, and I don't think it's all that accurate. So
Hero?
Could be lira.
Lira,
I'm gonna guess
Italian
it's
lira.
lira. Yeah, it's
so it's
ITL.
Italian lira that we didn't do euros in 1997. That makes a lot more sense then. So Matt, if you want to convert that, that would be lovely. So I think that's kind of all I have. He is a little goofy, but I mean, I think the switching of the hat thing that keeps coming back up is kind of clever and cute, right? The fact that he calls himself a prince, he calls her princess, playing the music for her to hear, to kind of brighten up her day, just like he's, protecting his kid is pretty beautiful. Um, and then you can tell by looking at when he wins the Oscar that you can barely call what he did in this movie acting.
Mhm.
He
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
he
It's
wrote
like,
himself
oh,
lines and he just did
this is
lines.
just you. This is
Yeah,
just you.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Climbing on the chairs and hopping up the steps. You're like, oh, okay, I got it. You just said roll
Okay.
camera, and I'm just gonna read lines. I get it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So love the pick and love this movie. I think it's heartwarming, even though the substance is so terrible. The ability to create a world within it to protect your son, I think, is really really cool.
Mhm. Uh, 9 million American dollars, just a little under
Oh, okay.
that.
So
So
it
this
made
was a
big.
massive. This was a
Made
massive
big.
hit. Um, Considering the subject matter as well, that also is weird because you don't see a whole lot of movies like this being hits. But
Mhm.
you know, so you mentioned the the lengths that a father will go to protect their son, and
Some
for
fathers.
yeah, some fathers at least, that is very true. So I know for me, this my perspective has changed because the last time I saw this I didn't have kids and now I do,
Oh,
and this movie hits a little bit different. So I'm wondering, Tim or anybody else, is there a movie out there that you've watched before and then you've changed your perspective after you've experienced something different?
we kind of talked about this one, so this is a cheap answer. But when we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when I was a kid, I was like, this guy is the boss. And then we watched it, and we're like, what an asshole.
Oh
I'm
yes,
totally
absolutely.
a get off my lawn kind of guy at this point, and so is Melo. Talk about those dogs and golf carts, by the way. Um, but yeah, I think there's probably a bunch that I would look at differently now that I'm quite a few years older.
Hmm. Anybody else have movies out there like that besides Ferris Bueller? Hashtag fuck Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. I can think of a few, but it's just funny how there's certain things that I still like the movie or I'm still cool with it, but I identify differently with, instead of one character, now I'm identifying with Eugene Levy or something, you know what I mean? Like just historic dads, or, um, that's a weird thing that's happened.
Any movie about a sport I've coached or teaching is now like, what are they? That wouldn't happen. Like the magic is gone for me now that I'm older. Like
Yeah,
that's
Stand and
not how.
Deliver. We got to go watch
Yeah,
Stand and Deliver again and go, okay,
Dangerous
that's not.
Minds, come on.
Dangerous
Yeah,
Minds.
Dangerous
Yeah.
Minds is a good one. Yeah.
Ouch. But fair. All right. Cool. Matt, why don't you pick it up from
Okay.
here? What did you think of Life is Beautiful? And I'm assuming,
Um,
is this a first time watch?
it is, yeah, first time watch. I had seen obviously him win the award. That was all over TV, and there wasn't a whole lot of social back then, but anything else. So I knew of it, never had seen it. This movie was great. I love the way they at first, subtly sort of, dr- I wouldn't even call them hints, but sort of intertwined the politics and what was going on, and they weren't focusing on it. They were focusing on him and her and, their antics in the beginning before they got married or whatever. But I'd almost like to watch it again because they just had all these things where the car is into these parade of people and not realizing that these are fascists, right? Like they didn't
Hmm.
know, like they didn't even focus on that. They just moved, yeah. And how they then transition after they get married and have the kid. Um, they show those same scenes of like the town square, but now they're soldiers walking through it. And just I love how they just sort of intertwine that and just sort of naturally had that in the background in the beginning, and then now it's like, oh, by the way, this was here the whole time. It's serious now. It's 1943 now or 44 or whatever it was. I like that a lot. He talks so fast. I
Yes.
was having a hard time. I actually accidentally turned on subtitles. So I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but it already had subtitles. So I turned subtitles on, which usually doesn't matter. But then when like music would play, it would be like music playing or something like that. And it covered up the other. So I was like, ah, dang it. I can't even see what they're saying. So I had to turn that off. But he talked really fast. So trying to keep up was tough. I did not rewind. I think I only rewound once because I got up to get something. And that was dumb because I'm reading the movie. But yeah, no, I thought um they did such a good job of making it sort of silly and comical and whimsical in the beginning, and then knowing full well, you had told us I didn't really read much, but you had told us, hey, this is about World War II, Italy, and knowing that was coming, it was I think that was even more of the gut punch. I know I felt weird laughing at some of the stuff.
Hmm.
But maybe that was part of the point. He was trying to do this thing for how far would he go to protect his child
Hmm.
to the point of making light of one of the most serious things to ever happen in the world. Um, and to the point of it almost got cringy at times when he was saying things and doing things in the concentration camp, and you're like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Hmm.
Like, there's other people here, and I get it. You're trying to protect your kid, and I guess again, that's part of the point, right? He to the point of making himself look ridiculous and single himself out and all this stuff. You guys kept talking about who he reminded you of, like Woody Allen, or I could not get Dana Carvey out of my head. I don't know why. Like Saturday Night Live, Dana Carvey doing a goofy like, blah, 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 you like the juice, like stuff like
Hmm.
that. I
Mhm.
could not get Dana Carvey out of my head. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Um, um, and then I couldn't. I just every time you like the juice.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and I don't even know if Dana Carvey was in that skit now that I think about it, but it just
I don't think he was. That
no,
was
I don't think he
Schneider.
was either. Yeah.
Get our research
So
guy to look that up.
Hanks.
yeah. Anyway, so no, I wish I had seen this movie earlier. This movie was terrific. I read a couple things to the point of feeling cringy about like laughing and things like that. I guess Mel Brooks was not a fan.
Oh, he hated this movie.
He
Mm.
thought that he went too far.
Mm.
Mel Brooks thought somebody else
Well,
went too
Yeah.
far
okay.
making
Yeah,
fun of the
wow.
But
Holocaust.
specifically with the concentration camps, like
Okay.
he wasn't above making fun of Nazis. He said he thought making
Everything
light
in
of
the
a yeah,
concentration camp,
making
that
light of
was
a
a step too
concentration
far.
camp was too far. That's what he thought.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's such a, in my opinion, and I'm not Mel Brooks, and he's way smarter than I am. Or is he dead now? I don't know. Anyway,
No,
he's still alive, still kicking.
he
That's
barely,
part
but
of that's
yeah.
part of the contrast to this movie though, because
Yeah.
like the one of the most gut-wrenching parts for me is when he has the kid and he walks into the wall of bodies.
Hmm.
That moment, it was like that hit me hard. Like whole, like it's not a joke. Like this is serious stuff, and he's trying his best to get his kid through this, against all odds. I mean, it's crazy. So, and then of course the irony of him, walking away from his son, saying it's gonna be okay, he gets shot. You kind of figured that was gonna happen. Um, and then the Americans come and save the day with their tank. It's
Hmm.
so yeah, no, this is a great film. I probably will need to watch it again just to catch some of the little stuff. Um, just reading it so fast. But yeah, lots of funny stuff. And Melo already mentioned the Anvil Factory line. I thought that was pretty funny. We can start an Anvil Factory. Um, the I did think it was a little slapstick in the beginning when he was courting her and he's
Hmm.
hiding his face from the guy and the eggs in the hat. And I just thought, man, it's kind of a little slapstick funny stuff. Maybe that's the Charlie Chaplin stuff.
Hmm.
Maybe Tim's talking about
Absolutely.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But again, just to set you up for that, like this guy's a fun-loving, loves life guy. He's and this is what happens. It just makes it that much more of a like I said, like a gut punch. So,
Hmm.
I was trying to think. I thought there was something else, but yeah, no, I'm very happy. Great pick. Very happy I watched this because I don't know if I would have turned this on just randomly. Um, so I'm glad we saw it.
Yeah, this
Oh,
this this doesn't exactly scream like, oh, I'm looking for a movie to watch. Yeah,
Saturday night.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Date
yeah,
night.
right.
I'm
Oh,
gonna do
the
this
the
one.
other one, sorry, the other one was when he's trying to explain to his kid about the dogs and the Jews not being able to go in the
Mm,
store, and he
yeah.
goes, "We could make what do you spiders? Okay, and I don't like Visigoths, so it's no spiders, no Visigoths." I had to look that up. I had no idea what he was talking about.
I didn't have any
It
idea
was
what a Visigoth. Yeah.
some ancient Goth people who took over in the 800 I don't know. Anyway, it was just funny, like spiders and Visigoths, they can't come to our store. I just
Mm,
thought stuff like that was funny, and the anvils and the only other thing I'll say, and then I'll be done for real this time. Um, when he, I, I don't do this a lot in movies because you kind of know it's like, it's a movie. I got kind of physically upset when he told the kid to go take a shower.
Yeah.
When he told him, you got to go take a shower, I was like, no, no, please don't
mm,
tell your kid to go take a shower.
hmm.
Like I got like upset for the child. I'm like, please don't do it because I obviously have never seen the movie, so I have no idea how this is going to end. And I didn't think they'd go that route, but I don't know what I'm watching, right? Like
Right,
I don't
right.
like he watches his
Yeah.
uncle walk away and he's like, "Oh, bye, uncle. He's on a different
He's
team," and
taking a shower. Yeah.
you know where
Hmm.
he's going. So anyway, that was the only part of the movie I was really like upset that
Hmm.
something bad was about to happen. And then I thought maybe they were going with that. Like he told his kid to go take a shower and now he's got to live with that or something. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, good pick. I'm done for real now.
yeah. That part got me a lot more this time around because I don't I didn't recall at the beginning because that's a good job of like setting something up to pay off down the road. That at the beginning he's like, no, I don't want to take a shower, and it's like, hey, okay, yeah, that's fair. I've got kids; they don't want to take showers from time to time too, and then for it to come back in that way, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
all
for
right,
sure.
that's good. All right,
It
we
also shows that parents aren't always right. Like you guys try to do the
that
right
is
thing every time,
absolutely wrong,
Yeah.
but you're
Tim.
not you're not
That is,
always right. And this is a really bad time to be wrong, and it worked out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I like that the movie doesn't show him as always doing the right thing. He
Mhm.
makes mistakes too, and that one was a near miss.
Yeah, that is true. All right, we talked a little bit about the comedy in this, and cringeworthy, I think, is a good way to put it. Matt, is there anything out there for you? Is there a line for you in comedy where you're just like, no, I can't do this. Also, I'm saying this because I'm not judging anyone based on their like any comedy or anything like that. I'm just curious if there's anything for you.
Yeah, I don't think this is it because just the way they did it.
Hmm.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen something where I've gone, okay, that's too far. Usually it has to do with I would say more like prank type comedy
Hmm.
and when it goes too far kind of stuff. That stuff I do not enjoy at all. Especially if there's some serious ramifications of that.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as movies go, I'm positive there's a line. I don't know if I've ever, because I don't usually gravitate towards those types of things, so I don't know if I've ever actually seen it. I'd have to think, but yes, there's absolutely a line. I don't know if I've seen it yet, but there's a line. This I don't think qualifies just because I think that was part of the point. Um, it wasn't supposed to be a comedy necessarily. It was supposed to him trying to protect his son through attitude and the way he conducted himself. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Anybody else have kind of a line? I know for me, sexual assault jokes sometimes make me super uncomfortable. Well,
Yeah,
not
I
sometimes, a lot
like
of time, but
there's certain subjects that generally are like, maybe don't do that. And I mean, as somebody that's been around stand-up comedy, I mean, Tim, when you and I went to that open mic, it was
Yeah.
like there were a whole bunch of people that thought they were funny that were just saying the most offensive possible things
Right.
Mhm.
for a shock reaction, and it
Right.
wasn't like it wasn't funny, and it's like when you're doing it just for the shock value, it's like, okay, like back the fuck off. But I don't think it's necessarily I think honestly the line has more to do with the delivery and
Mhm.
the point that you're actually making
Mhm.
than it does the actual subject material. Because there's certain things that I'm like, I would never laugh at a joke about that. And then I hear a comedian make a joke, I'm like, I that's genius. I can't even be
Mhm.
like, I'm not even mad. Like I would never even touch a joke about that, like even in the ballpark of that subject. But the way that person crafted that, not only is it very funny, but also like, hey, they make kind of a good point about this thing. And like, so I think this movie is kind of a good example of that. It's more so the delivery of the subject material than it is the material itself. And
Mhm.
I thought they did a pretty good job of it. So
Yeah, the physical jackass movie comedy. I don't like that at all. Hate
Mhm.
it.
Well, and
Who
it
made us watch that? Does anybody remember? It was Melo. Okay. I saw you start to smirk when I said it, but
well, and Brian, to your point, I love the Jackass movies, but there are some skits in the Jackass movies that I'm like, I hate this so much. Like I hate the prank aspect of it. Oh, not the prank at well, 90% of it is pranks, but the the one where they're trying to like trick somebody into something, or like you get Spike Jones dressing up as an old lady, and then they just rip off her shirt, like oh,
Oh,
don't do that. Or just like like anything that they have to do with, it's a lot of like Steve-O stuff that he does in those movies. It's like, oh, you're gonna put a leech on your eye. Great. Like, no, I hate this. I hate this so much. Oh, you're gonna put a hook through your cheek and swim with sharks? Cool. And then his line, the thing that he hates the most is heights and bungee jumping. It's like, I don't get you, man. I don't get you at all.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but again, there's a delivery thing and a cleverness thing to that. Like even like the thing I always think of with the Jackass movies is the scene of I think it's I don't remember who it is, but the guy dressed in the devil costume being launched out of the sewer and then landing on his face. Like that's a clever to like regardless of, what the movie is, like that's just a clever scene.
mhm,
So it's again, it's to me that's all a delivery thing.
yeah.
I think if they're in agreement to what they're about to do, makes a big difference as opposed to, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
An
gotcha,
unsuspecting
we ripped your
stranger.
tooth
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
wait, what? That's fucked up.
see, but I do like impractical jokers. I think
Mm.
that's good stuff, but that isn't just physically trying to hurt you or anything like that.
Mm.
That is fair.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
weird. I like a lot of the stuff, but very much like Hilty said, there are some that I'm 100% not on board for. The one thing that popped in my mind was some of the 9/11 stuff. Like a lot of it, frankly, really just doesn't. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't hit.
The
Go ahead.
I just seen a clip recently. It's a reels, and it's Ray Romano is talking to oh he was in Eternals, the Indian guy, or not
Kumail,
Indian,
Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
yeah, and he's like, "What do you think of 9/11?" And he's like, "Oh, it's terrible. We lost 27 of our best guys." I mean,
Mhm.
hilarious. I'm sorry. It's a
There's
funny.
exceptions.
It's
There are
right,
exceptions.
but
Yes.
it's like if people realize and stop being as sensitive about things and realize it's comedy and don't take it seriously, we'd be a lot happier people. I mean, everybody, somebody tells a joke. There's comedians out there. Bill Burr, I think, is hilarious, and there's a lot of people who don't like his humor, and I don't listen to it then. But the idea to cancel somebody because they said that or they're this kind of comedian, it's like stop. Just let people be, and just don't listen to them.
Yeah.
I
If it's for
just
you,
think it's
cool. If
fast.
not, so it is. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's fascinating that in the movie discussion for Life is Musical,
Life
Life
is
is
Musical. I
Beautiful.
love that
We've gone off on a
movie.
jackass tangent.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's
this group is
magical
pretty
right
special.
there. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Brian, you
Yes.
can talk now. Go ahead. What did you think?
Brian, words speak.
Please. There. I'll add the please as
One
well.
syllable.
I didn't know one thing about this movie going into it, and I didn't look anything up. And it started, and I was angry at you, Hilty.
Fair.
I was just like, this guy's talking so fast. I'm trying to read the words. It's, sometimes the foreign movies I just don't get into. And then I fucking love this movie. It was just I got through it. The guy was a little creepy. We kind of mentioned that. Um, I thought, I don't know if he over pursued, but Dora was kind of a whore. I mean, she's the one.
Oh,
She jumps under the table and goes to him and kisses him, and she's engaged to this other. They just announced their marriage.
Like an
So
engagement party.
yeah,
She's kissing another guy.
so
again, under the cherry moon.
Tim, I mean, you're ruining it, but there's my connection. I'm picking Under the Cherry Moon to watch this week. It's my pick, and I got my
sorry.
connection.
Damn it,
so
sorry.
You're screwing it up.
Sorry.
You did mention, can we make this in United States? And I immediately thought of Mel Brooks's To Be or Not to Be, which is has Nazis and Jewish, but it's not. There's no concentration camps that we see. And when you guys mentioned Mel Brooks not liking it, that's exactly what I thought. He was like, well, I already did this with To Be or Not to Be. There's no reason to go that far. But the idea of a father, doing whatever it takes to, it wasn't even to save his son. It was to bring joy into his life. I mean, obviously he saved him too, but it wasn't just like, hide in this room and I'll bring you food. It was like, I don't want him to hear anything bad, so I'm going to go translate this angry German guy's words into telling everybody it's, this game. And then it's like, hey, go ask, I'm sorry, I was going to say Bartholomew, but I wasn't, the other guy who actually spoke German. I'm sorry?
No, Bartholomew, never mind.
Okay. But, he's like, that guy's going to translate for you guys, and I just lied to you. So
yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Just
right,
yeah.
And the other guys, I mean, obviously these people share a common bond. They're all of the same faith, and they're going to help him with his kid. But they don't really show anyone helping him with his kid too often.
They're just kind of ignoring him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is a little beyond belief, but I'm okay with that one. I'll put the suspenders of disbelief on.
Yeah.
And The
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Well played. I
They
want
hold
to
up your
acknowledge
pants.
that. Yeah.
They hold up your unbelievable pants.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. There you go.
the just the also a character named Guido to me is always like this big hulking badass, and this guy being Guido just didn't fit name wise for me. But that's my what would I call that? That would be Italian racism or something. I don't know.
Just Americanized movie watching. You're just used to seeing mobster movies, you know.
Right.
Say bias. Maybe.
Bias. There's a good word too.
I was
Melo,
about to say the racism I don't think is specific to Italians. I think it's just a general term. But I get what you're saying.
the book was written by Gerda Wiseman Klein that you used. Looked it up for you.
Thank you.
I stole the Matt Smith moment and Googled it. See what else they have. Oh, I had hoped because I didn't understand the point of taking him around the corner to shoot him. Like they really didn't care.
Somebody like interrupted and it was like, no,
So-
do it over there. Like, yeah.
I thought the doctor was saving him. I was really hoping that. And I'm like, I'm waiting for him to run around the corner now that everybody's gone, and it just didn't happen. So it was a little heartbreaking. But just a fantastic movie, very well written. Like you guys said, even as he knows he's going to get shot, he's doing the funny walks, so because he knows his son's watching him. And then to finish the movie with Joshua saying, "That's what my dad did for me." It was, So allegedly, there are dads out there who do things for sons. I've learned that.
Allegedly. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Good stuff, Brian. Trying to think because I just gave my phone to my daughter who and all my questions are on there.
Oh, the idea of them fighting about taking the bath sets it up. So like when he's fighting to take the shower, I know we kind of alluded to that a little bit, but it was like, I didn't get it. It's like, just smack him on the ass and put him in a tub. What are we doing here? So,
why do we have to smack him on the ass first? Just put him in the tub.
You didn't grow up the way we grew up.
I definitely did not. Maybe that's why my kids are just out of control most of the time. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It
cool,
didn't
cool.
help that either, honestly. It's just different environments.
Yeah. Brian, we talked, you mentioned that you were super pissed at me for the first half, and then the second half kind of just changes the whole tenor of the whole movie. I'm curious from you, do you have any other examples of movies out there where you're like, oh, the first half is not great, and then the second half saved it, or other way around, where first half's great, and then you're just like, what happened in the second half?
Nothing's jumping out at me just offhand. Can I hold on to that question and maybe
Sure.
get back to you a little bit later on it? And I wouldn't say through the first half, when it started and got going, but within 10 minutes, I was fine with the movie and happy with it. When I think once he started sucking on her leg, I'm like, this guy, he's got something. There's not really wasp poison, so
No.
that's
No.
the beauty
That
of
was
it.
a line. He was
It's just
rolling
I
with
was
the
just
line.
like,
Just a move.
this
Yeah.
guy. If we had Italian Larsons, this would be one.
Well, then he asked if she got
Yes.
stung
Is there
anywhere else.
you have stung?
Did you get,
We
did
had
you get
Italian
stung anywhere
Larsons.
else?
Yes, that was the real line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
To answer that, if I can chime in for a second,
Sure.
I like the first half of downsizing, and then I hated the second half of it.
I would fully agree with you on that. First half sets up a really interesting premise, and then it just all falls apart.
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, good call.
Mhm. Dan, since you spoke up, I'll roll to you next.
Well, I did not get a chance to watch it.
I know.
I
We all knew.
You're very
I
quiet
never
over
heard of
there
it.
today, Dan.
yeah, never heard of it before, and I didn't watch it, but That's one of the reasons I came on because I want to see if I do want to watch it, and it's getting positive reviews here so far. So I'm def it's on my list to watch now.
Dan, from what we've all said, could you do us a favor and go through a quick 35 to 40-second plot of the movie? What did you get out of it so far? How does it start? What happens in the middle, and how does it end?
I feel like this should be a game we should play every week.
Absolutely.
One person does not watch the movie, and then they're like, okay, could you try to sum up the movie?
There's a horror involved at the beginning. Some leg sucking is going on. And then eventually it gets serious, and the guy gets shot.
All
That's
right.
not bad.
Thank you, Dan.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That is pretty spot on.
Pretty
Tim,
quick with the word horror there, Dan. Pretty quick with the word horror.
I mean, Brian's the one that brought it up, so he's just echoing what Brian said. So
I guess.
Dan just did two sentences of like a chat GPT of the groups. That's what just happened.
I would like to propose that we call that segment the Chat GPT version
I like
of
it.
the movie. So
Well, you know, Matt will do that more than anybody else in this group. Matt's missed more movies than anybody, I think, and
Probably.
shown up to take his licks for it.
Probably. Well, that's the thing. How many people haven't watched it and haven't shown up?
Yeah.
I once pretended I watched the movie and
That's right.
almost got away with it.
That's right. If it wasn't for you
So.
damn kids. I wonder why Aaron's not here.
Wait, I thought he only paid 99 cents.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe something's going on. I shouldn't make fun.
all right, Wilden, take us home.
I thought Aaron just didn't show up because his feelings were hurt because we gave him so much shit about that.
He got
Aaron's a liar. Fuck you guys. I'm not coming.
That's kind of how it went.
Yeah, I mean everybody's, the last person always ends up kind of saying this, but everybody's mostly said everything here. But man, this movie is beautiful. I thought this is absolutely fantastic. There were a couple of points I did kind of want to give a little bit of a different perspective on. So I know like a lot of the guys in the camp don't really help him with like the kid, but I don't know. I kind of actually saw it the opposite way. It's a concentration camp. They're all in the absolute worst conditions possible, and you could just be in such just a sour mood and just in the worst, which you would be, but like you could let that get to you when you see this loud, annoying, guy talking to his kid and trying to play these games. You could be like, dude, shut the fuck up. What are you even talking
Now
about?
is not the time, bruh.
Right. Yeah. And none of them did that. And I love the way that like he like looks, he's like, hey, uncle's on another team, and his uncle's just kind of like, yeah, he doesn't really do anything, but he plays along. They all play along. When he goes to the one guy, he's like, hey, like I don't remember exactly when, but he's like, oh yeah, he like goes to like confirm something that he's made up about the game, and the guy's like, oh yeah, like just not, they do all play along. It's not like they do much to help him physically or anything, but they're in on the shit. When he goes up there and starts, translating the German guy, which I love that scene, by the way, when he's translating the angry German guy yelling, and he's just, and that's the first of so many things he does. Like you see immediately what the rest of the movie is gonna be from that scene alone. Risking everything just to try and keep bringing joy to his kids. And, the idea that like, Guido knows exactly what's going on, and he has no idea how long they're gonna make it for. He knows they're probably not gonna make it, but he's just trying for as long as he possibly can with everything he has to keep bringing joy to his son and like shielding him from all this. And I think the thing that stuck out to me, the thing that kept going through my head about this movie was that you know, Guido's a goofball, he's a clown, and obviously like we have the love story beginning to it. But you look at like the contrast between all the soldiers and you look at the contrast between him and like the girl that Dora was or the guy that Dora was gonna marry. It's like there you'd think that in these situations a lot of times the strength are these big strong men and these soldiers that were, but his strength was the comedy and his love for his son, but obviously, the goofball mentality was his biggest strength in this situation, and it did get his son through this, without uh well, to lessen the impact of these horrors that they're going, these very, very real horrors that they're going through. And I thought, regardless of the comedy, it's funny hearing all of this because the impression I got, like, yeah, I thought some parts were very, clever and comedic, but to me that was more heartwarming than it was like funny.
Hmm.
And so to me it was I didn't see it as, oh, we're making a joke out of the Holocaust. To me it was like this is the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And like the ultimate, going above and beyond to bring joy to this kid. I just again, I thought this movie was absolutely beautiful. Um there are a couple other things I was gonna make points on, but I kind of forgot most of them. Um But yeah, great pick, and I didn't realize if this was the guy that walked across the seats at the Oscars.
Hmm.
I got it now. I've wondered for 20 years who that was, and now I got it.
Hey, real quick, since you watched the subtitled version, do you know what the German uh, guy was saying when he was giving
No,
out the rules?
no.
Because that was
So
not in the regular
That's a good point.
subtitle version.
so they yeah no they didn't give any subtitles to the Germans mostly, and when they'd actually dub over when they translate they only translated the Italian. They not like to English. They
Okay.
never like anytime anybody yelled in German, it was still in German. So
Yeah, I don't know what he was pointing over to the right. I don't know
Yeah.
what the three things
yeah,
were.
it was,
I I like that we
and
didn't
it
know that though. Like
No,
I
I
like that we
agree.
got
And
his
I'm
translated thing
also,
and you just
yeah,
like you didn't need to know.
and I
I,
think that was I honestly yeah, I agree. I think that's how it was. That's how it was made in Italian, and I think they just did the same thing for in English for the dubbed version because and it the experience comes off in a very similar way. It was just like,
I, I do
but
wonder
yeah,
though,
that
man.
scene alone, I really just like. When we're watching the love story version of this, I knew that like okay, this is gonna lead to like Holocaust stuff. I just saw that in the vague description. I didn't know anything about it, and I was kind of like, okay, where are we going with this? And so I didn't know what I was watching through most of the love scene portion of it. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't really sure like, okay, where is this going? But yeah, as soon as they got to that part where he's translating for his son, I was just like, oh man, and I knew that there was no way he was making it out of there alive. That like, I was hoping that the son would. I was hoping that Dora would. I figured the son would, but I just knew. I was like, Guido's not making it out of this one alive from the very beginning when you saw what it was. Um, but the way that like when Josh was in the box and looking at him through there and he looks and he smiles at him and he winks when they wink at each other, oh, that got me. I was like, man, whew, you know.
Yeah.
um but yeah, there were several times where you kind of go like, okay, how's somebody said, I think Melo, you might have said this right at the beginning, it's like, okay, how's he gonna spin this one? When Joshua just says, yeah, all the kids said that, basically, hey, said we're in a concentration camp. They burn us in a furnace, and he's like, "Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, I've never heard of a I've heard of a wood stove." And it's like, wow, I never would have been able to make it through that
No.
in his position. So, but yeah, I was blown away by this. I When it comes to YouTube movies, when we have to rent on YouTube, I always end up renting the movies I would have rather bought, and I always end up buying the movies I would have rather rented. And I rented this one, and I really wish I'd bought it because I want to go back and watch this again. Not right away; it's pretty heavy, but I want to go back again and watch it someday in Italian and watch it with the English subtitles. But if anybody ever does happen to watch it again, just for like a few minutes, watch it with the English dub and
The
just
dub.
listen to his like extremely Italian accent the entire time. It's very funny.
The dub is a little rough. Um,
Yeah.
when I watched this today, I actually didn't put subtitles on at all because I just kind of was letting the let I had seen the movie before, so just letting it kind of speak for itself. Um, because like I was about to say Mel Brooks. Mel Gibson wanted to do that when he originally put out the Passion of the Christ. No subtitles, just let the scenes speak for themselves. Because for the most part, you can kind of get what happens with this. And there were some things that I appreciated a little bit more, like the subtle looks and the physical comedy a little bit more when I didn't have to read it. Which still enjoyed it, but yeah, it was just definitely a different experience this time around. Um, let's see, what's a question for Wilden that I could.
While you're thinking of that, Matt, you were saying how you got physically upset when he was telling Joshua to go take a shower at the part where it's like, no, don't do that. I got genuinely pissed off when he went to the doctor and the doctor was like, please, you gotta help
Oh
me,
God,
with
that
the
fucking
riddle.
doctor.
I was just like, man, I just
See,
like
but one of the beauty is the wrong word, but the it's consistent, and
yeah,
that's something. And I can't remember who mentioned it. I think Matt, with the subtlety of everything.
Right.
That's just
In the
another
beginning.
thing.
Yeah.
That's just another thing where that subtlety that the doctor was saying, like, oh, I need to solve riddles or I can't sleep, and this is just another instance of that. And why would he
I
think
I'm
differently?
I'm glad it was in the movie. Like I'm
Oh yeah.
not
Oh, no,
like
no,
I'm
no.
saying
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
it's I agree with the point that they're making. But
Hmm.
Well,
but
which
yeah,
let's
no, I
let's say what
just
that point
from a
is, though. Hang on, Mike, just a second. Let's say what that point is. They're pointing out that when they're in the restaurant and they're trading riddles, he's calling him a genius, and this is the best guy I like to talk to. But when he's in the concentration camp, his value as a human being is less than his, and the only thing that he's good for is riddles. Like
Right.
his
Hmm.
value as a human being is nowhere near the doctor's good value as a German. And that's a real nice, subtle way of getting that across without beating our heads over with it, you know?
But that was the thing that, as clever as Guido is, here's an opportunity. Let's play on that.
Hmm.
And that part never happened.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would at least thought that was worth a shot.
Well, you saw that's the this is the only time that Guido didn't say something fast and quick-witted. The fact that
Yeah.
he actually paused for a
Mm.
second and a half and stared at him like, this is the secret that you're gonna pull me over here for? Uh, I think that says it. That's a break of character. Like he was so struck
Yeah.
by how the fuck is this your important thing?
Well, because I think the combination of that, and then not too long after that, the wake up call moment for him where he walks with Joshua to see, or they run into this just giant pile of bodies
Right.
as well. Those were rough night for him specifically there. Also, because you couple that with the fact that Joshua's getting like his first like legit meal in a long time, and he says what, thank you in
Right.
Italian, and like almost, and that was a moment for me where I was like, oh my God, how is he gonna get out of this? And just off the top of his head, he just starts teaching all these kids Italian to, how to say thank you. And like all the guards and like everybody was like, we told you not to talk to them. What the fuck are you doing? And
Right.
then he gets out of it. Um, I know for me, I deep down I knew that he wasn't going to make it out, but it doesn't change the fact that when he's walking off, it's like anything could possibly help this situation, and no, that doesn't happen. Um, well, then it was mentioned before a little bit about the ending that it feels a little bit abrupt. Um, any do you agree with that? That it just feels like it kind of just it ends maybe a little too on a happy note.
I I mean, how much more is there to say?
No, yeah,
I didn't have a
absolutely.
problem with it. I kind of I didn't really think I don't know. I didn't get that sense from it at all.
Mhm.
I did kind of have the idea when everybody was starting to, you saw the Germans start to flee the camp and it was just empty. I was like, "Oh, like they're about to be rescued. That's awesome." And then of course the first thought that popped in my head is there's gonna be a tank. Like this kid's gonna get a ride in a tank, and this is gonna be awesome. And he does, and it's wonderful. And then he sees his mom, and I'm kind of like, and then he says like that's what the narrator says that's what my dad did for me.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I don't think there's anything else left to say.
Yeah.
I actually wanted Guido to come out of the tank. I thought that was going to be the like all of a sudden he was really alive and he was in the tank somehow. Like, I got you
Mhm.
your tank.
Cabello, hey.
Yeah. Just
He did not.
no.
It did not happen.
That did not
Spoiler
happen, of
alert for
course.
those
Spoiler,
listening.
yeah, for Dan.
Oh, I get definitely know he died. Yeah.
Um, I mean, not a whole lot else to say about this. A couple other things that I'll add. The part when they're first getting on the train, I did find funny, even though it felt super uncomfortable, because he's like we stand on a train. It's like we stand on a train. You've obviously never been on a train before, but that it's just little things like that that Guido does to protect his son. Um, boy, that kid is adorable as well.
Mm.
That kid does a fantastic job. Um, the part where he wants to quit and he just wants to go home, and Guido is telling him it's like fine, all right, we'll go, and it just reminds me of all those times when I say to my kids like, you want to go, all right, fine, let's go, doors open, let's go. And I'm like, oh no, I guess not. But the way he says is like, I think I'll catch a cold if I go. Like, smooth. I like it. That was good. um, Roberto Benigni, the Dora's his actual wife in real
Yeah.
life.
Oh,
So good pull for him in the movie and in real life. So
I didn't know that.
attaboy punching above his class. Um, Best actor. So he's the first non-English best actor winner, and he beat out Edward Norton in American History X, and he also beat out Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan, who many people thought that Tom Hanks was going to win his third Oscar for Saving Private Ryan. And for Roberto Benigni to swoop in into, like, first of all, I think it's absolutely deserved because he does a fantastic job of in this movie. But then we get one of those Oscar moments of a lifetime when he's just jumping up on the seat, and it's like, okay, this is just this guy. This is how he talks. So, and this is how he is. So that's interesting. Um, Wilden, you mentioned that the movie is beautiful. It's also beautifully shot as well. There's just a lot of really great, memorable scenes in here with the way that they're shot. Like the scene where him and Dora are walking. So like pretty much everything from like when Dora gets in that car after the party and they're driving, and he's like, "Where did you learn how to drive?" It's like, "I learned how to drive 10 minutes ago." Pretty much the whole scene is just magic. And when the part where he's getting the key from like from the top of that apartment, just the way that it's shot um is gorgeous. So uh, I love this movie. It's really great. Again, the first time that I watched it was I watched it for a high school film and lit class where we were talking about the meaning of life, and then we specifically talked about the meaning of life according to a victim of the Holocaust or a Holocaust survivor. So that was a fun topic to write about, but it just gave me a new perspective on things. And a couple weeks ago, or a couple not a couple weeks ago, but um I did a exercise on Letterboxd recently where I put together a list of my top 100 movies, and this ended up at like number 12 for me. So it's pretty high up there.
Hmm.
So I'm glad everyone liked it. Aaron, any thoughts? No? All right, cool. All right. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, a couple of follow-up things here. Dan, Roberto Beniti's wife, she's the whore. And I'm going to take a shot here because we made a
Sounds
reference
like
that
yeah,
was
you did.
way out in left field. Hilty, have you ever seen Under the Cherry Moon?
Yes, I have.
Damn it. I thought for sure I had you on that one. Okay, so Brian, it is your pick. You have the option of dealer's choice wide open or connect to one of the last rounds movies. Your pick is, sir.
Before I get to that, so just for shits and giggles, I went to Google and wrote movies that started strong and finished poorly.
Oh, yeah.
And one that I kind of agree with, Suicide Squad, the first one with Will Smith. That was, but one of the movies in there in this 26 was Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, okay,
Yeah. I agree.
Did they say it
I could
started
see
good or it
that.
started bad?
Started good and finished poorly.
Okay.
So I am actually going to connect from this movie, and one of the actors from this movie is in the movie that I am picking. It is the 2000 Ridley Scott movie Gladiator that we will be watching.
Ooh.
And the young man who played Joshua plays Maximus's son in who gets killed.
This kid just cannot catch a break.
Can't win. You can't win.
You did already. You got a fucking tank.
Now I gotta do this because Matt has taken so much shit for Whiplash. The category is wide open, dealer's choice, or connect to a movie from the previous round. And Brian connected to a movie in this round. But I'm
Brian,
gonna
he
say,
picked a movie.
Well-
He picked
well,
a
then that's
movie.
his
He
dealer's
fo-
choice.
He followed the
but
rules.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said to Matt. We'll watch it anyway. And that's when Matt went, no, 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 no.
See, but the difference is Matt
I don't
didn't follow the
remember that
rules.
conversation.
Brian followed the rules.
Good.
So
Yes.
was I supposed to go back to the previous complete
yeah.
round?
But you weren't here for the whole thing. So it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, no,
Which I'm
it's
sure
like
if you wanted-
the
I just
dealer's
didn't want
choice
Matt-
is also there. So
I didn't
that-
want Matt to come back to me and go, hey, wait a second, when it was me. All right. So the movie is Gladiator. God, is there anybody here who hasn't seen Gladiator?
Wilden, have you ever heard of Gladiator?
We're
Damn
gonna
it,
get an
why
F
do you
word.
always make it just a little worse than it needs
That's
to be?
why. That's why.
Dan, Gladiator.
Yes, I've
have you-
seen Gladiator.
There's a whore in it.
Brian.
Okay, so point
I've
of
never
order.
seen it, so that's why I'm picking it.
Good
It's
pick.
not. It's absolute horseshit, as he would say. Shut
No,
your whore's mouth.
I, real
Wait,
quick,
shut your whore mouth. I used Brian's line incorrectly.
I was unplugged for a second there, so I don't think anybody mentioned it tonight or last week. But do you guys know the connection with this movie and not Gladiator with Life is Beautiful and a movie we've watched in this group before?
Well,
Benini was in Coffee and Cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
That is-
yeah,
we did talk about that.
Did
at the
Did
end
we
of
talk
last
about
week.
that last week?
Yeah,
yeah.
Was I here? Maybe I wasn't here.
that was
I
part of
couldn't-
Hilty's intro. I think.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
Okay.
I remember the weirdest things after 3 or 4 beers. Okay, so one more point of order here is that I have the next pick, but I need a randomizer before I can make my pick. So I have asked Mike to do the Wheel of Destiny for 23 numbers, but don't go quite yet, Mike. Let me see. Okay,
Why?
so I think I have the right thing up here. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see. how this is going to go. I've got a list of 23 actors in column A here. Can you guys see this? You can?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And then actresses in column B. And so Mike is going to do his Wheel of Destiny, and he will give me a number 1 through 23. So I get an actor, and then we will do it again, and I will get an actress, and I have to pick a movie from one of those two actors. Mike, give me a number.
All right, so they don't have to both be in it?
Again, for the record,
Yeah.
I always felt like you could just pick two, like of any, but whatever, that's fine. So your actor number is going to be 16.
Number 16. So for actors, that is Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And actress looks like it's going to be 4.
Number 4, that looks to be Diane Keaton. So I have to pick a movie that either has Philip Seymour Hoffman in it or Diane Keaton.
Or
And
both.
Or both, if I suppose
Annie
that would
Hall.
qualify.
For the third time. Good Lord.
Yeah, Annie Hall, that's a pretty good movie. So next week, Melo will be the one on deck at that point, right?
Oh,
so I'll be
okay.
making the
Doing
pick.
same deal?
But so next week we will do a randomized thing, so Melo gets his 2 actors to pick from, so that the week after he's ready to make his pick.
So are we going to delete those 2 that you've done so those don't come up again?
That is correct.
Next week I'll be in a wedding. Next weekend I'll be in a wedding in Boston. At a wedding in Boston, so I won't have your randomizer available.
All right.
On the
If
spot.
it's a randomizer, you could do it right now and it would still be just.
That's true. Good.
Or you could just Google random number between 1 and 23, and I bet it would work.
I don't know if I care for Matt's condescending tone right there.
You should have let him watch Whiplash, and maybe you wouldn't have such a condescending tone.
I told him we could watch it anyway.
Matt's a
He
man
got
of
stubborn.
principle.
It wasn't me.
It was
He got stubborn.
Matt was just standing by his principles.
That's right.
And I support that.
I'm a rule follower.
I've worked with Matt a long time. He's never stood by a principle the whole time that I've worked with him.
Wait a minute.
And we've had 5 or 6 of them.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
End the recording right there.
Yes.
Just
That'll do it for this episode of the BTB Movie Club podcast. Thank you, as always, for listening. We know we enjoyed ourselves, and we hope you did too. Have yourself a great week. We are partnered with the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.